In this video, we'll take a look at the rules of playing a strategy game in Avertigos. In a strategy game, there are 5 phases. The first phase is the initiative phase. Unlike the skirmish game, where initiative is checked at the start of every phase, the strategy game has its own initiative phase. Since this is the first round, each player shall roll a damage dice to determine their initiative. The player with the highest roll gets the most initiative, while the player with the lowest roll gets the least initiative. If any player is unhappy with their initiative, they may call to bid for an initiative change. During a bid for initiative, players discreetly place currency in their hands and reveal what they have at the same time. The one that pays the most gets the highest initiative. Players may call a bid for initiative at every turn during the initiative phase. Once the initiative phase is over, we'll proceed to the movement phase. For the first round, players will each pick a corner to start with. You may place your scout ship anywhere at your corner behind this line. The rules for movement in the strategy game is exactly the same as the skirmish game, so go watch that video if you haven't already. Once all movements are done, we'll move on to the action phase. Once again, the action phase in the strategy game is similar to the skirmish game. The only difference now is that you can dock and capture islands. First, we'll talk about docking on an island. Docking has to be the first action you make during the action phase. Each island has a ring around it. The ring marks the island's boundaries. To dock on an island freely, you must satisfy 2 rules. The first rule is to make sure the base of your ship is touching the island's boundaries. The second rule is your ship's speed must be at speed 1 when the movement phase ends. If your speed is greater than 1, you may still dock, but you'll need to pay a penalty of 1 action point for every speed more than 1. So for example, if your speed is 2, you'll pay 1 action point, and if your speed is 3, you'll pay 2 action points. When moving off, a docked ship must start from speed 1, and the player may reposition the ship anywhere within the island's boundaries. Once you're docked to an island, you may capture it. Since capturing an island is an action, it requires the use of 1 action point. Capturing an island is a 2-step process. First, you must overpower the natives. Each trooper you place will require additional action points. So, if you are capturing an island with 2 natives on it, you'll need 3 action points. Then you'll need to leave troops behind to occupy it. Alternatively, there are other types of units you can use to capture or deter others from capturing an island. The spy, for example, can be placed on any island of your choice to reduce your cost by 1 to overpower the natives, or increase the cost by 1 for other players. Do take note that though placing a spy costs nothing, you'll need to pay 6 currency to retrieve your spy. Then we have the envoy. Envoys are used to work out trade agreements. You pay to place an envoy on an opponent's island. The opponent determines the amount to be paid because he owns the island. When placed, you don't earn any currency that the island provides. Instead, you gain the benefit of the island's trade goods. You shouldn't attack a player whom you have sent an envoy to. However, if you choose to do so, then the contract is broken, and the contract breaker must pay 5 currency to the betrayed, and the envoy goes back to their respective owners. And last but not least, we have the commander. The commander is a mighty warrior that has the power of 2 troopers. So instead of using 3 troopers to capture an island with 2 natives, you can achieve the same result by having 1 commander and 1 trooper. Unlike the Envoy and Spy, where they are allocated at the start of the game, the commander has to be purchased. If you look at every island closely, you'll notice that each island has a resource icon. These icons are fish, coffee, poppy, and pearls. Capturing multiple islands with the same resources will earn you bonus currency during every earning phase. For capturing 2 islands, you get a bonus of 2 currency. For capturing 3, you get a bonus of 5 currency. And if you capture 4, you'll own the trade route for that resource and earn a whopping bonus of 10 currency. It's not easy to capture 4 islands with the same resource by yourself. Though it's not officially sanctioned, you may consider bribing other players to let you capture the islands you want. Oftentimes though, this will likely end in betrayal. Next, we have the earning phase. During the earning phase, you are not allowed to perform any actions nor purchase anything. This phase is solely for calculating how much money you earn from your islands. If you look closely at the board, you'll notice many islands, each with their own number on it. These numbers indicate how much currency you'll earn from that island once you have occupied it. The more islands you own, the more currency you'll earn each turn. The phase ends once all players get their earnings. Then we move on to the purchasing phase, and it's exactly like it sounds. You spend your hard-earned money to buy more troops, build claws to defend your islands, build trade huts to earn you more income, and purchase bigger, more powerful warships. The price of each item is printed on the back of the player's screen. It is during this phase that you can buy more troopers and a commander. Claws let you fire at any ship that flies into your island's boundaries. For every claw you own, you get to roll an attack dice to see how much damage you deal to the trespasser. But do take note that claws may only fire once. After they have been fired, you'll need to buy new ones again. Building a trade hut on an island would double the income from that island starting from that turn. If the island has a value of 3, you'll now earn 6 currency instead. And finally, we can also buy bigger, more powerful warships. The type of warship you receive is determined by how many modules you purchase. Purchasing 3 modules will grant you the Frigate. Purchasing 4 modules will grant you the Destroyer. The price of each module is indicated on the module card. So these are the rules, but what about victory conditions? Well, unlike the skirmish mode where you just simply destroy your opponent's ships to win, there are many ways to win a strategy game. The easiest victory is the Conqueror victory. To secure a Conqueror victory, a player just needs to capture and occupy 8 islands. Islands shared using envoys do not count. Then we have the Trade Empire victory. To secure a Trade Empire victory, a player must own 2 trade routes either by himself or through the use of envoys, then declare monopoly and survive the next 2 turns with at least 1 ship remaining. And finally, we have the hardest victory achievable, Total Annihilation. To secure a Total Annihilation victory, a player must destroy all other players' ships and meeples on the board. All trace of the other player's existence must be wiped out. Nothing can survive. And that's it. Those are the Avertigos strategy rules.